What's going on, everybody? We thank you for joining us right now, and we thank you for being a part of this wonderful broadcast. We got a lot of things that we're going to be discussing today. We got a lot of topics we're going to be discussing today, and we definitely wanted to get you acclimated to some of the things that's been happening in preseason. Right now, there's many of you that's going to be watching this broadcast simultaneously on YouTube and Facebook Live. So, right at this time, we definitely want you to share the broadcast because there's many things that we're going to be discussing with you today. So we want you to share the broadcast right now as we're streaming simultaneously on Twitter, YouTube, and also streaming simultaneously on Facebook Live as well. This is a powerful moment to be able to broadcast to all of different countries that we're broadcasting, and of course, to broadcast from our home studio here live in New Orleans, Louisiana. And so let's get down to the first things. Listen, we want you to follow us right now on Twitter at Because Podcast. That's where you can get most of our information. You can get some of our live chats, some of our feeds that we give every single day. We're giving you special news analysis and updates about what's going on in the sports world. So we want you to go ahead right now, follow us on Twitter, get acclimated with that because there's a lot of great things that we're going to be sharing on our channel. We want to give a special ups to Restream. That's where we're streaming now. That's our platform and source that we're going to be streaming now. And my co-host will be coming in just a couple of minutes. He's going to be giving us some update sports analysis in just a couple of minutes. If I have not introduced myself, we're going to start now with the introductions because we think that it's proper that we get you acclimated. So let's go ahead with the start of the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Because Sports Power Hour. I'm your host, Leonard Lucas III. There's a lot in things, especially sports, to discuss today, especially in the game of professional football. From Jamaar Chase not being able to catch a single pass to the QB1 conversation for the Saints and Jags this year, it is definitely turning out to be a spectacular year in sports. So let's get to it. Just like American Airlines say, sit back, relax, and let's start the show. Listen, I've got a lot of things that I got to talk about. The first thing I got to talk about is the amazing performance by none other than Jameis Winston. He was on fire. He was spectacular. 9 for 10, 123 yards with 2 touchdowns to none other than my fantasy draft pick, Marquise Callaway. I knew this guy was going to be special from what I've seen from him last season. And I knew that he was going to definitely take on the helm of some of the things that I've seen that he could do. Not only is he effective of catching the ball, he knows how to get into that coverage. He knows how to get in the zone. And if you're playing him man on man, he's running a 4.5. He's not the fastest guy on the field, but any cornerback that's going to be running with him man on man, he's going to give you a run for your money, and it's going to be trouble. Jameis Winston looked very polished. Of course, a lot of people are saying the Jaguars' defense, it's not really a true test to the prolifics of how NFL football defense is going to be. But I think that, this team showed a lot, especially on defense, especially with not only with the defensive front, but I've seen a lot of great things with the coverage with PJ Williams and CJ Gardner Johnson, just really locking everything up. A lot of those passes that could have went for a lot of yards, he was just playing people man up, and he was definitely effective at getting to the ball. And so it was exciting really to see him. The first topic that we're talking about today is about Jameis. Has Jameis Winston proved to be QB1? And to me, I believe that the Saints have all they need. Now, there's been a lot of concerns and a lot of questions about Jameis Winston talent. Can he perform? But when you look at the stats don't lie, and that's the biggest thing. A lot of people talked about Jameis. He threw for the 5,109 yards, but he also had 30 interceptions. But within that 30 interceptions, he also had 33 touchdowns. He's a high flyer, and if you know anything about Bruce Arians offense and what Bruce Arians basically was stretching his offense to do was make high flying plays. This is not Sean Payton offense. Sean Payton does not have to do that. Sean Payton has an offense that is very prolific on the running side of the ball. I don't know if we're going to see that this year with Latavius Murray, but with this new addition, Jones at the running back, I think he'll be able to really create opportunities to get Kamara going out of the backfield, and I think Jameis will be able to use Kamara as a clutch if he does get into those situations where they're playing tight coverage or where he has to throw into tight windows. He will always have Kamara as a little dump off play where we know that Kamara can get extra yards after the catch. We've seen this, of course, with the first game, our second game where we played last year when we played Green Bay. He had a 60 or 70-yard runner. So we know what Kamara can do. We know what Mike Thomas can do as he's hurt. Ayamada is off of suspension. And a lot of people have been really talking about the States with a lot of players being either traded, they're gone, or injuries. And then a lot of people have been saying, commentators have been saying, what are the Saints are going to do about injuries? And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the first thing I really want to talk about is just Winston's prolific play. I think a lot of people really begin to, not have a memory bank of what some of the things that Jameis Winston done. We're talking about a guy, his first year in 2015, where he threw for 4,042 yards. He threw for 22 touchdowns with 15 interceptions. Again, 2016, he threw for 4,090 yards, 28 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. And so when you start looking at the first 3 years, he threw third year, 2017, 3,504 yards, 19 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. And so when you start looking at just that as evidence, you got a guy who can throw the ball effectively. Of course, the problem has been turnovers, but I believe in this Sean Payton system and the Sean Payton offense. He's going to be limited with turnovers because he does not have to go for the big play. He does not have to go for the home run, but he's going to be able to really get quality options. Why? Because he has an offensive line that can protect him. And that's one of the things that Jameis has never had. He also had the ability to study other Drew Brees. Do I believe that Drew Brees personally kept Winston under his wing? I do not believe that Drew Brees personally kept Jameis Winston under his wing, but I believe that Jameis Winston was soaking every moment, every opportunity up from Drew Brees, looking at what he was able to do, looking how he was able to perform. And I truly believe that Jameis Winston used that moment last year, looking at how Drew Brees, his performance, his reps, his study, and really soaking that moment up for the time that he is performing now. There is no question in my mind that Jameis Winston is the QB1. Taysom Hill is a great quarterback. He's a phenomenal quarterback. At the things that he does well is he's a rusher. He can create opportunities like a Swiss Army knife where he's able to create opportunities where people don't know if he's going to come out of the option read or be able to create some razzle dazzle. He's a good quarterback, but he is not a great quarterback, and that's the problem that Taysom Hill has. I don't really even think that he's a quarterback that is able to be effective week after week in this league, and that's just my sports analysis take on that. And the reason why I believe he's not able to be effective in this league is simply because he's very hesitant. The looks that he had last night, as you seen some of the looks, he took too much time of throwing the ball, not looking at the check downs, not looking at his second option. And that just shows me that when it comes to him being able to perform, he is not as poised as Jameis Winston. And I really believe that's going to be a problem if Sean Payton is going to start him. I don't believe in my mind that Sean Payton is going to start Jameis Winston. I believe that that he has seen everything that he needed to see with those 10 passes. He completed 9 out of 10, so that's 90%. I believe he had somewhere of 153 to 154 passer rating, which is a total perfection. Again, people always said it was against Jaguars secondary, and that doesn't mean anything. But again, these are all professional players, and when you're talking about just the prolific amount of play between all of teams, these all are professional caliber teams. No matter if you are the Bengals, no matter if you're the Jags, no matter if you're some of these teams that have had losing seasons, these are all professionals. They know how to play. They have some of the best coaches and some of the best trainers in the world. And so when you look at the talent, it's all about the grit of who wants it more, who wants to perform more, and who's going to get the job done. And so I think this look that we seen with Jameis Winston, I don't think anybody had a denial of Jameis Winston's deep ball threat. He's always had the ability to throw the deep ball. We know this, and this is something that we have not seen in the wild from the Saints offense. And truly, I was listening to some commentating on yesterday on this morning from Shannon Sharp, and I totally agree with him. What Jameis Winston had done, I believe that he's a better version of quarterback than Drew Brees was last year. And I know we have this mentality to not look in the past, but Drew Brees' arm has not been good for quite some time. Of course, we have seen 2007, 2008, and 2009 when he was prolific at the quote-unquote favorite dome shot. But that was not the Drew Brees that we've seen in the last 4 years. Another thing, a lot of people talks about the interceptions. That's been a lot of the big concern. It has been a big concern for many commentators this year for for Jameis Winston. He threw 30 interceptions the last time he was at the helm and calling the shots. Which is a lot of interceptions. I believe that he's going to minimize that to 50%. My rating, I believe that he's going to probably throw somewhere between 13 and 15 interceptions. And this is the reason why. Because he has a better line. He has great quality offensive weapons in Kamara, Callaway, Thomas, and Traquan Smith. Troutman is injured. We don't know how severe that injury is as of yet, but he has all great secondary options. So he's going to do well, and I believe that Sean Payton is going to put him in a system where he is going to be able to perform well, even though I believe that Sean Payton does not like him as the QB1 option, but I believe that his hands are tied in the matter as of what we've seen last night. Of course, when you look at all the people who waved Taysom Hill because they did not see the effectiveness of his play as a quarterback, I believe that Sean Payton really wanted this to work. I believe he wanted to be the guy that said he found a Jew. He's found the treasured Jew in Taysom Hill. But as of all these years that we've seen, I believe that Taysom Hill is better for the team in his utility gadget plays. That's where he's effective. That's where we're seeing he has given us the best ability and capabilities of winning football games. And I believe that truly that's where he needs to be. I know it's a very bitter pill to swallow if you are Taysom Hill, but when you look at just what Jameis was able to do in that short amount of time, especially with the protection and all those things that made him effective last night, I would think you would have to be a buffoon. You would have to be crazy. You would have to be schizophrenic to put Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston over last night. And I want you to understand, there was a lot of commentators that were saying on this morning that if Jameis throws 20 interceptions, that this New Orleans football team is going to be done. He's talking about all these different secondary players gone, Janoris Jenkins and Patrick Robinson. Patrick Robinson didn't play last year. First of all, he was nowhere to be found, and I thought it was a good thing for him to retire so that Sean Payton could go get somebody who wanted to perform. P.J. Williams was solid. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was solid. I believe Marshall and Lattimore is going to be solid this year. And so when you look at those caliber of players with the secondary, they're going to be playing man coverage because Dennis Allen loves to play man coverage. Some announcers say they're going to get beat. I don't believe they're going to get beat. Why? Because we have one of the best defensive fronts in football. Yes, we're dealing with some challenges challenges with Anyumata and his suspension, and we don't know how Davenport is going to show up. But I believe that we have two of the best linebackers in Quan Alexander and Demario Davis that's going to lock up everything if anything goes past 4 yards on the rushing attack. And then we got guys like Cam Jordan. We got some offensive prolific guys. Cam Jordan comes off the defensive rush. He's going to be able to perform at a high level like he's always performed at a high level. And I think he's going to be the guy that's really going to not to be a sleeper, but I think he's going to have one of those 9.5 to 10 sack seasons this year because he's going to be so prolific. Now, look, I got my guy here with me. I've got Kendall Spears. He's going to be coming on live, audio live, and he's going to be just talking with us and discussing a little bit about that. Kendall, are you live right now? Are you audio on?
Yeah, I'm on this thing.
How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good, man.
Yes, sir. I want to talk about what you're seeing from Jameis on tonight. What you thought about what you're seeing from him?
Oh, bruh, come on,
last
man.
night.
Jameis looking great, dude. No question about it. He got to be the starter. Got to be now. After those dude scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. You know what that was on 3 drives. The guy looked great. So I don't think there's any question about it. We all know it. I think Sean just want to keep the word out there that Taysom potentially might be the starter, just so there's some confusion in the world, I guess. You know what I mean? You don't want to play your hand, right? But there's no doubt about it. I don't think anyone believes Taysom Hill actually has the job at this point, you know? So yeah, man, looked great. We looked great. Think we're gonna have a pretty good year. I think we probably, I'm gonna say 10, 11 wins. That's what
I agree.
I'm gonna start there. Past that, man, looking great. I think one of the things that people definitely have to recognize is the defensive line for sure.
Yes.
So far, even in the preseason, the starters really haven't let anybody score, and Cam's not even out there, and they're looking great. I mean, I'm hoping that this is going to be Davenport's year. Finally, that those 2 first-round picks will finally pay off, and he's going to look like a real monster on the other side from Cam. And if you got 2 really good rushers like that, then you can really create some havoc on the inside, because one of those guys are going to need to get double teamed. And you can't double team both of them. I think that's really what allowed Trey last year to really show out, because you got Cam on one side getting double teamed, and then you got another pretty good person on the other side, so you can't directly slide to that side. So I think Trey was the big beneficiary of that. Not to say Trey wasn't good at all, but you know, just a beneficiary of having 2 guys who are pretty good on the outsides, you know. And so I think this year, this could be Davenport's year. Finally, he shows out, and so I'm hoping for a good defensive front. Cornerbacks, you know, Marcus, Lattimore or whatever. He's been solid. You know, he's been good. So, if he can return to form from when his like rookie year, you know, get back to that kind of dominant, then I think we solid. You know what I'm saying? With a good D line, with a dominant cornerback 1, and with decent linebackers. You know, Demario's a beast for sure. You know, solid guy, all around defender,
big time player.
Can play at the line, and so he's solid there for sure. And then you have you got Quan, and you got that new kid they drafted, I think Vaughn. They say, I mean, he looks pretty good out there. The first game, I saw him looking good. Looked like he got quick feet, you know, gonna like attack the ball. And so I feel good about our linebackers. You know, the cornerbacks are really the only weak spot. We still have a good safety and Marcus Williams. And so we have solid pieces, man. Our defense is good. That's why Dennis Allen is able to go man coverage so often and
Right.
allow us to be sometimes be able to blitz a little more
Right.
with
Correct.
bringing in more
That's our
linebackers to the
specialty.
line.
That's what we're known for.
So because they're good, they're solid, and
Yes.
so I'm still not sure about the new cornerback. I can't remember exactly what his name is, Abahi or something like that. I don't remember. It's something
Yeah.
with an A. I shouldn't even try to pronounce that, but I'm not 100% sure on him yet. Still gotta watch a little bit more, but I think so far we looking real good. We're looking real solid on the offense.
Absolutely.
I know you talked a little bit on the offense. Callaway is looking good.
I drafted him.
He looking really good right now. So he's gonna be a real. We seem like we might have an actual wide receiver one. And that might be all we need is one wide receiver, because I think if Sean is really feeling it, we can keep 3 running backs, because we have 4 running backs right now, 5 if you include Ty Montgomery, right? And so we could.
Well, they're gonna run him as the wide receiver option.
The wide receiver. That's why I say if you count him, because you got Kamara, you got Latavius, you got the Jones kid, and you got Devonta.
Right.
And so you got 4 running backs there. You could potentially run pistol. You could run some more pistol options where you have, 2 or 3 running backs back there with Jameis, and it doesn't truly diminish your passing options, because Kamara can still catch the ball.
Yes, that's true.
Devonta can catch the ball. I'm not sure if Jones can catch the ball yet, but
we haven't seen anything yet for Jones.
If he can, then that doesn't diminish your passing options at all. And you can then go down for solid run game and
That's
actually go really heavy, because the Jones kid looks like he can block.
Phenomenal runner, phenomenal
like
blocker.
He can get down there and he can actually contribute with some blocking. And I think Latavius got a little bit of grit, so if you ask him to get out there and do some more blocking, he might be able to pick that up some. So I think a potential pistol formation for us with 1 or 2 wide receivers, with a Johnson kid move the tight end. Then we have another tight end from last year, Troutman. So you got
he just
Troutman.
Got injured.
Oh, you got injured?
Yeah, last night.
Shucks. Okay. But you still got the Jones kid, and who else? I think we got one more tight end though.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the new tight end. I gotta put some information on.
But you got the Jones. I think his name's over to Jake Johnson, maybe. But the guy moved from wide receiver, I think, moved over to tight end. And
Do you believe that our rushing attack is the weakest link of part of our football team? I think so.
I don't really think so. I think we got a good O-line. I think
we do.
Our O-line is solid. So since the O-line is solid, you also got tight ends. I'm not sure how good the new guys with blocking, but if he's a good blocker, I think he's like 6'4". So you get down there, you get some good blocking out of him. You got decent blocking from the running backs. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think the pistol, could be a part of our package this year. We don't have enough.
I think Sean Payne's going to run pistol.
Wide receivers to run it. But I know what we want to do. I know what Sean wants to do. Sean wants to air it out. That's why James got to be the starter, because Sean wants to air it out.
Yeah, we haven't had it in a while.
We used to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Back when Drew was a young buck, we used to actually throw it deep when we had Devery Henry.
He never throw it like James threw it. James threw that thing on the money.
That's true, but
that pass.
Sean wants to do that. Sean wants.
Oh yeah, of course. He wants to open the playbook up.
He wants to be. He wants to be pass happy. He want to put it in the air, and so I think that's why James has to be the guy. But if we don't have the wide receivers for it, we have the running backs for it, and I don't think it diminishes that's what I'm saying. I don't think it diminishes the ability to pass because you still got Kamara out the backfield, which gives you the short side. You can still have one
Yeah,
more wide receiver and
he's
a tight
definitely a
end.
backup.
You know what I'm
Kamara's the
saying? But it
backup.
just adds more blocking, give Jameis more time to make better decisions. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? But we got a good
Absolutely.
line, so you might not need to do that. You might could just put, Lil Jordan Humphrey out there, you might be able to put Callaway on the other side,
Yes.
and just let them go for it, dog.
Mhm.
That's what they're gonna do.
You know, I like what you said about that, Kendall. A lot of people are skeptical about Marquise Callaway because he's undrafted. Um, but what I was seeing from him, this guy, he's a veteran. This is not his first rodeo. He's not a rookie. So I mean, we've seen some of the things that he can do last year when Thomas was hurt. He was definitely effective. He definitely made good pass. Taysom Hill and Drew Brees was not able to get the ball to him over those deep passes like Jameis has been able to. He's my QB1 option for this. I don't think Michael Thomas wants to be here anymore. I don't think that he wants to play as a Saints. I think the era for Michael Thomas with the Saints is over because I just don't think that he wants to be here anymore. Do I think that Michael Thomas have the ability to perform at a high level for the Saints? Of course I do. I think that he can do more with Jameis than he ever did with Brees. But the question to me, I want to ask you, do you think that this is the end of Mike Thomas' era with the Saints? Because it don't seem like he wants to jail with Winston, and it doesn't seem like he wants to be a part of the organization, even though the news sports people said that him and Sean Payton has hashed it out. It don't seem like it. Don't seem like they're ready to get on the same page. What you think about that, Kendall?
It's definitely not the end of the Michael Thomas era.
Okay,
That's
elaborate.
that's just kind of crazy, dog. It's not happening. The man just got paid $100 million. They're not gonna move off a guy who just paid $100 million, and you haven't got any return from that money at all yet. So,
That's true.
so that's not happening just from a financial standpoint. And then off a production standpoint, I don't know where else he will get more production. Mike Evans had, I want to say, 6 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. 5 of those with Jameis Winston. So Jameis Winston definitely is a quarterback you want to play with because you're going to get a lot of yards, you're going to get a lot of catches. You're going to get the opportunities to fight for the ball and go for it. So I don't know where he would have a better opportunity than that. So I don't understand where he would go, why he would want to leave at this point. So no, I don't think it's going to end. I think he was out. He was with them the first week in the preseason when he went to that game. He was there, so he's with the team. He was there yesterday, so he's there. Nothing's changing.
We were definitely going to take a better look at that at the end of the season. I want to talk a little bit more about Taysom Hill. Did Taysom Hill show you anything last game, yesterday, last night, that he can be our QB1? Do you think he has any compelling argument to be a QB1? If he plays the next week and does well, maybe a similar performance to Jameis Winston, do you think he has the ability to be the QB1, or you believe it's wrapped up, put the presents by the tree, it's for Jameis Winston, it's his team? What you believe?
Well, no, he didn't do anything to impress me to say he should be
I agree.
QB1 for the Saints. And there's 2 cases for that. First, you got the first week. They both were even, right? They looked about even first week.
Yes.
Right?
I think Jameis had a little bit. The passes I seen were more poised than Taysom Hill passes. So I would even give advantage for the Baltimore game to Jameis. That's just people say my bias, but I agree that I think I would give it back more to Jameis than Hill.
Okay. Well, I think most people would say it looked about even. But you got to take it that Taysom was playing with the ones and Jameis was playing with the twos.
Right.
And it still looked about even. And so you got to take that into account. Then when you switch the positions and you got Jameis playing with the ones and Taysom playing with the twos, it wasn't even close. So that lets you know already that Jameis can do more with less, um, than Taysom can. So Taysom has to be carried a little more
Right.
automatically just from that, right? And then I didn't really see anything in particular that showed that he was gonna be very smart with his running last night. I didn't really see any good escapes or too many really good extensions of the play,
Right.
for completions, which those are supposed to be the things that he's supposed to bring and add an advantage.
Correct.
And I didn't really see that yesterday. So the thing that he's supposed to add to the game, I'm not seeing. And then the natural position of the game, he isn't really doing either. So I'm not seeing how he could be the starter.
Yeah. To me, I don't know if you had a chance to look at Taysom's face after Jameis threw that second touchdown. It was just like when he got into the game, he was just like, to me personally, it just looked like he knew it was over. He knew the race was over, and it
Already
affected his
defeated, bro.
performance. Even his passes. You remember the pass to Jordan Humphrey, and then the pass to Jones. They have to really jump up high to get those balls from Taysom Hill. So that shows me that he was not as polished in the pocket as Jameis, because everything I've seen from Jameis was right in the money, right in the chest, right on the hands, and that some of the most phenomenal deep balls. I mean, the one hand catch by Marcus Callaway probably just shows the prolific style of play that Marcus Callaway has. But I mean, you can't say that Jameis didn't put it right on the money.
Oh no, that was a great
Yeah,
catch,
absolutely.
great pass. Um, Jameis definitely put it there where only Callaway could get it, and so, but Callaway, man, that first one, that was one hell of a catch.
Oh yeah. I mean, he went. That showed me. I'm trying to
Because
see
I
if it's a
didn't think he
Saints
caught
player.
it.
That showed me some Robin Meacham action. Old school Robin Meacham, when he would die for when they really wanted to play football. Thomas, he's a great, phenomenal talent, but he never died for no catch. You talking about a guy went and got it in a that shows hunger. That shows he wants to be the guy. He's showing Sean Payton that the reps that he's taking with Winston, him and Traquan took with Winston in the offseason, is paying off. And I think they're going to be a treat. I think
Has Trevor
boldly,
been playing?
Thomas is going to be WR2 and Callaway is going to be WR1
Has
because this
has
is the rapport.
has Trevor been playing?
No, he will be playing for the regular season.
Okay, they just been
Yeah.
sitting him.
Yes. Him
So
and
it's gonna be
Kamara.
and
Him and
Callaway.
Kamara. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So it looks like it's going to be Lil Jordan Humphreys as the 3. You're going to have Callaway as the 1. He's definitely going to be the 1 for the first week. They're going to switch that role between him and Mike Thomas. I mean, they of course, $20 million guy, they're going to give it to Mike Thomas when he comes back off the injury, whenever he comes back off the injury.
Yeah, of course.
I want to talk a little bit about one thing. I've been watching all the TV sports correspondents and says that Jameis is going to throw over 18, 20 interceptions this season. If he does that, the Saints would not have any ability to go to the playoffs because, turnovers in this league, if you get a turnover, that's just a detriment to any ability to be able to win games. What do you say about that? Do you believe if Jameis throws 20 interceptions, they still won't have the ability to get into the playoffs?
I think that's the most he could throw.
20.
Yeah, if he threw more than that, it's over. But I think about up to 20, actually probably up to more like 16,
Okay.
he could get away with. We could survive maybe 16 interceptions, I think. I think our defense is good enough to where we could bear that burden, you know.
Yeah.
And I think when Winston throws them, it'll be in bursts. It'll be like one day where he throws like 5, and then
No,
the
we don't
rest
need
of the
that.
year it just be one, one a game, one every other game. like that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm when you look at Winston's interception to touchdown ratio, it is only that 30 touchdown year when he threw 5,109 because he was kept coming from behind and he threw 30 interceptions. But when you look at 2018, 2017, that's 14 interceptions, that's 11 interceptions. 2015 is 15 interceptions. It's not like he's a guy that over his years has been throwing over 20 interceptions. They just singled out that one year for 30 interceptions. But if you go back into the year 2010, which is people don't have nostalgia, the year that we won the Super Bowl, Drew Brees threw for an astounding 22 interceptions. So, I mean, if Drew Brees can throw 22 interceptions with a similar style of offense, I think that if Jameis throws 20 interceptions, I think
But
they'll still
that
be
defense
okay.
was phenomenal.
The defense is very good now.
It ain't that good though.
I don't think, I think the defense is more polished. They have more takeaways in
But
2010, but I think we have
that's
a
the main
better.
goal. That's the
Yes,
main
that's true.
thing.
That's
That's the
true.
main thing.
Yeah.
The difference between that year and every other year are pick
Takeaways.
sixes.
Yes. Do you think we have the ability to get takeaways this year? Well, maybe not interceptions because the
No,
corners are very young, but fumbles.
no. I don't think we have any hard hitters like that.
Well,
Like
you got Demario
Demario
Davis, Quan
might be
Alexander.
our hardest hitter, but he don't force fumbles. He
Well, you
might be
never
our
know.
hardest hitter,
What about
but
Davenport?
I feel like he could, dude, because he's fast. You
Yes,
know what I'm
he's very
saying?
fast.
Like we could get those sacks off the edge, but he got to show it, man. Like I see it. I see the potential there, but he just not there consistently with it. And and that's the problem. He consistently hurt. He's been hurt a lot. So if he can survive and make it through this year, I really think this could be a breakout year for him.
Yeah,
Because he been learning, he been getting it down, he been figuring it out. He wasn't really they say he wasn't really a three down guy, three fingers in the dirt kind of guy at first. So he had to learn those kind of skills. They say he was raw, but hopefully over the 3 years he's been learning some techniques. He's
yeah,
been learning more how to use it, how to twist, how to hit the club move and the swim move, and how to turn on boards and get between them gaps. So if he didn't start to figure some of that out, man, we could be deadly, bro.
yeah.
That line really could be nice.
Absolutely. What do you think for the Saints is the biggest weakness? Excuse me.
Cornerbacks, of course. That's the
Yes,
biggest weakness.
yes.
It's a glaring problem. We only have one cornerback, and we don't know, and we got one safety. So that backfield definitely is a problem, and or it's the biggest problem, I think, because I think our lines are great, um, and maybe quarterback, since we don't know who the starter, because
We
it,
know who the starter,
it
but we
could
don't
be
know who the
Taste,
starter.
and then who knows what happens.
Yeah,
Sean could just throw him out there just of I'm just gonna do it, and we might, it might work, but we might start 0-2. You never know.
if he throws Taysom Hill out, it'll be his ego. It'll be to his own detriment. I think he's going to make a lot of people in New Orleans mad. He's going to make a lot of Saints fans mad all across the country because it would be his blatant ego to want to put Taysom Hill in the game over Jameis Winston. There is
Right.
nothing that Taysom Hill has done, even in the 4 games before that he played. He won 3 out of 4. He lost to the Eagles. There's nothing. I mean, let's go back to the Denver game. They had a guy who was a wide receiver who haven't played uh, football and played as the quarterback position since I think high school, and he was the quarterback. And Taysom couldn't even take advantage of the opportunities that he had then. They won by the run game. So you got a
Bruh,
guy who's never played
bruh,
football since high school, and
bruh.
that was horrible.
That was wild. That was wild, bro. Like that was crazy. He barely won that game.
Yes.
So So we're gonna go back to that? Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
But it was a good game to show that our run game can be solid. We
absolutely.
can run on you. You know what I'm saying? So it was a good game to show that. Um, but let me ask you this:
Yeah.
who starts the next preseason game?
It's going to be Taysom. It's already been out. It's going to be Taysom. I think Sean owes him to give him the opportunity to try to redeem himself. I think he's going to actually. I think Sean Payton is going to do way more for him next game than he ever did for Jameis Winston, giving him a lot of open reads, giving him a lot of good reads to show the world that he's able to be capable at quarterback. But I don't think he's going. I think he's going to fumble the bag. I don't think he's going to do good. There's a lot of pressure on him, and what he's shown me from his throws, he can't throw the three ball. Anything over 20 yards is 50-50. I mean, the slats he can do good. He can do some stretch offense, which is pretty decent. But anything that has to do any type of touch passing, um, Jameis Winston is killing him. We've seen it from last night. He cannot do any type of touch passes. He can't do any fade routes. He can't do any. I mean, he did that one back shoulder to Lil Jordan Humphrey. And that was I really think that was just a miracle within itself. I think the cornerback was not looking. I think if the cornerback could have looked backwards, that's an easy pick. But that's another conversation for another time. But I believe that Sean Payton, Taysom Hill is Sean Payton guy, so he's going to do whatever he can to tell the critics that his pick was the right pick. But I think he needs to really take a self adjustment now and really just say, you know what, I fumbled. Taysom Hill was not the guy who I thought he was going to be. He's a great player. He's a great gadget player. He's a great facilitator, great at the option. He's just not prolific at quarterback, and that's why we got to make the choice for Jameis Winston. And I'll put it back to you, Kendall.
Man, y'all all really think Sean just gonna give this to Taysom? Man, I don't know. I hope not. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna just say I hope not, because I don't think Sean gonna do that. Sean, we all can see who the better quarterback here, and the value of Taysom is much higher at not quarterback. He provides a lot more to the team
Right.
as not the lead quarterback. He takes
Correct.
up a few extra positions on the draft chart that can lead to more depth in other places.
Absolutely.
He can be a person that can take a place of a special teamers or something like that, or he can be a person that can take a place of an extra wide receiver if you want one.
Yes.
He can take a place of an extra. He can take up 3 to 4 to 5 positions on the depth chart, so you have more room to play around with. He's just more valuable to the team in another place. In that backup role, he just provides more value. And I think that's what it all has to come down to, is that Jameis Winston doesn't give you any of that on the bench.
No.
You get none of that with Jameis Winston on the bench. But with Jameis Winston starting, you still have a QB that's as good or better, and you have all.
He's better than Drew Brees last year. He's better than Drew Brees last year.
I mean,
yes.
Sure, that remains to be seen, but I hope
Come
so.
on, Kendall.
I hope so. I hope so.
Last year, we're just talking about last year as Drew Brees is an individual talent.
I hope so. I hope he is, because it won't be hard to be, better than Drew was last year. He wasn't that good. He was still good, but he wasn't great.
No.
Especially toward the end of the year, just couldn't oomph it.
Yeah. What I've seen from Jameis, it's going to be easier for him to be a quarterback than Drew Brees because of the things that Drew Brees did well, even though he can probably survey the defense better. But there's going to be a bunch of options in windows and spaces that Jameis is going to be able to put the ball that Drew Brees has not been able to do that for at least 6 years. And then, of course, not knowing the playbook that Sean Payton is going to adjust for Winston, that's going to be definitely fundamental to us winning, because a lot of players are going to be wanting to see what we're going to do, what schemes we're going to be in. I think it's going to be a total new playbook that's adjusted only for Jameis. You're going to see a lot of more deep passing, but it is going to be restricted. I don't think he's going to be doing 6 or 7 deep passes. I don't think Sean Payton is going to give him the leeway to do that. I think if he has a look, if he has a one-on-one option, man coverage option, and Marquise Callaway could beat or Troy Khan could beat his player. There's going to be there's going to be some shots that he's going to be able to take, but I do think that Sean Payton still has him on a leash. And what do you think about that? Do you think Sean Payton still has him on a leash on the calls that he will be able to make and the calls that he's not going to be able to make?
Well, um, I think it's going to start off slow,
Of
and
course.
if it looks like Jameis is able to make pretty decent decisions, and in the first 2 or 3 games he isn't turning the ball over 3 or more times, I think Sean opens it up. I think Sean starts getting real crazy with the playbook, and we start seeing some Devery Henderson type plays again. We start seeing people running free to the goal line and just bombs away, bro. Like, dude, I think y'all forgetting how creative the playbook used to get, man.
Oh
How
yeah.
wild Sean used to be out there just sending people all over the field. So we're definitely gonna see that again. I think if Jameis is the guy, we're gonna start seeing more people running further down the field and more of those dome shots. I
Yeah.
imagine we'll start seeing 10 a game. 10,
That's a lot.
10, 10 dome shots.
You sure?
We bombs away, dog.
It's a lot.
That's by the end of the year. That's by the end of the year. If it's
Okay.
working, I think by the end of the year, we start seeing 10 tries 15 yards or further in the
Okay.
air.
I can agree with the 15 yards. I don't know about the dome shots. The
All right.
question that I want to
15 yards or
ask.
further, and at least 4 of 25 or further.
Okay. I can see that. Not with Taysom though. Taysom's the
No,
quarterback.
that's
Take
only
that
with
out.
James. That's
Yeah,
only
just
with
take that
James.
out. Yeah. The last question I want to ask you about the Saints. Does the Saints have enough offensive firepower to compete with Green Bay Sunday first game, or you think that's just an automatic loss?
No, I think we got the power.
Oh wow.
Now at this point, yeah,
Wow.
definitely. With Callaway, of course, you
Oh
got
wow.
2 potential decent receivers. You
Hmm.
know, they're not amazing, but you got Traquan and you got Callaway. Those are 2 decent receivers. Those are 2 solid receivers. Then you got Kamara, who's a great running back. You got enough
Yeah.
to compete as long as you got a good enough quarterback back there. And James looked like he's doing great. He don't even have Kamara, and he's still doing amazing. Like Kamara's not his check down. He's checking down to all these other people, and they gonna do whatever they're gonna do. But imagine once he's checking down to Kamara, oh, it's easy.
Yeah.
And once people got to pull in to try and check the check downs of Kamara, he gonna have more one-on-one coverages. And just like he saw that bomb the other day, once he saw the one-on-one coverage, he changed the play up, said go get him, ate him up on the outside with the one-arm catch.
Yeah. I want to
So
ask you a question, and from just some of the things that you've seen, of course, we've both seen Jameis played us for 5 years, so we've kind of seen his talent over the years. Do you believe he's a much more poised player than what you seen when he was at Tampa Bay? Do you believe he's much more relaxed player than when he was at Tampa Bay?
I don't know about any of that, but he definitely like when commentators be saying all that stuff, he definitely seems more in control of himself. I guess I don't know, or more he just seems more calm. I mean, he never looked like he was out there rattled. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a starting quarterback, dog. You know, like he looks fine out there, but he just seems to be choosing to check down at least. You know, like that's the thing. He's making better decisions, and
Yes.
maybe that's what they're saying. Maybe they're thinking that's rattled. I think that's bravado. That's you being a young kid, just like I can make that play, I can make that pass. I know it's only a small window, but I'm accurate enough. I can make it there. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, just saying, Uh, it's too close. I don't need to do that. There's a more open option. You know what I'm saying? And just choosing to to take what's given to you instead of
Yeah,
forcing what's out there. And
yeah,
that comes with experience, and maybe that's what they're considering calmness and poise. But that comes with experience and play style, you
yes,
know, because this used to be a play style. Brett Favre, that was his play style. Throw it to the guy and 50-50 ball it.
yeah, true.
And hope your guy come down. Hope you have the better catcher who can catch better than the person who doesn't get paid to catch. You know what I'm saying? So that was a play style, and that was his play style.
Yeah,
And so just gotta, learn a new play style, or just adapt it more. Where you come with the occasional bomb, or have a better person who can do better plays for you to bomb it up.
yeah, yeah. I want to talk about our great analysis. I agree with probably everything that you said. We both have great in-depth knowledge on the Saints, so we definitely agree with the secondary. I think that's our weakest link. We both are very skeptical about the running offense. We know Kamara is going to just thing. It's just that can Latavius Murray and Jones keep up? We're both right on it with the defensive front. I think they're going to be able to be tremendous here. I think Cam Jordan is going to have another tremendous year. Secondary, I don't know. Hopefully, Lord Lattimore will be able to, do what he needs to do. G.J. Gardner Johnson, I believe, is going to perform. PJ, you never know with him. Hopefully, he can get it done. We're very suspect at safety play. I like what Marcus Williams done. Hopefully, our other safety will be able to compete with him. But let's go into another conversation because we only got about 15 more minutes. Cam Newton, there was a discrepancy with COVID protocols. I really don't look at this as a scandal, but he's already been having problems with Belichick. He's always been having problems with that system with the New England Patriots. I think they won 6 games last year. Can Cam Newton win more than 7 games for the Patriots this year? Can he get it done? Can he get it done? Excuse me. Can he get it done? Can he show that he's going to be the guy that can perform at a high level for the Patriots coming after the Tom Brady era? What do you think?
I don't know about being the guy, but should definitely better win more than 6 games, considering their roster is a lot better. They had a bunch of
Well,
people.
Bills Mafia is better now.
I
Bills
mean, but
Mafia is
still, they had a bunch of people who didn't really play last year. The line wasn't that great. They spent a little bit of money, I think, this year. Brought some new people in, so
correct.
they got more talent all around. It's a much better team. So I imagine they should be able to. He should be able to play pretty well. Um, I don't believe that this rookie is going to beat him out of the starting job. Um, I just don't really see that happening. But yeah, stranger things, right?
Of course. Um, do you think this is his last year in New England? Matt Jones, a new up and coming quarterback, high profile player, great at making the great reads, and he looks like he's going to be able to be adjusted to the Belichick system. Do you think if Cam does not win 7 games, he's out? He's getting the boot.
Ooh, maybe. Um, but if Cam doesn't win 7 games, I'm not sure if anybody else is gonna pick him up
You don't think so?
because
It's over,
it took
Cam.
forever for the Patriots to pick him up. Nobody else wanted to get him, and so he can't win 7 games with the Patriots.
It's
And
over.
Bill Belichick is supposed to be the greatest coach, and the
Yes.
greatest coach can't win with you.
It's
Where
a
you,
stain on your reputation.
yeah, where you gonna go from there? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
It is a
it'll be
stain on your
interesting to
reputation.
see.
Yeah. Let's go to something fun, Kendall. Let's start talking about to that part of football. Fantasy has just started. We got 10 more minutes to talk. Talk a little bit about your fantasy team. Kendall's in the same draft class with me. same team. We have a family sports league that we do every year. I was the champion, two-time champion. I was champion last year. Not the GLOAT, but I'm one of the best fantasy players that league has ever seen. Kendall, talk a little bit about your drafts and why you came to the conclusion of what you picked this year and how you think they're going to perform this year.
Uh, I'm going back to the ship, winning all the way this year.
Who do you even have?
Nobodies, man. I got a bunch of nobodies. Nobodies. You don't need to worry about it. You know,
You think that system still
wait till I
works?
play you this year, and you're gonna get dealt with.
Kendall, I'm looking at your team. You just win, baby, win, right? Wait, what were you?
No, that's not me.
That probably is you. Let me see.
That's
Hold
on
on.
that's
Just
Uncle.
let me see. Kendall. Let's see here.
I'm no prisoners.
No. Okay. You got Brady. That's a somebody.
Y'all,
Odell. That's a somebody.
y'all
Juju.
let me get the GOAT.
Yeah, he sucks. You can get him. Yeah, Saquon. That's a good player. Oka, Dell, Juju. I don't know. Why would you draft Travis Kelsey?
Why would I draft Travis Kelsey? Oh, okay. Yeah, no reason. You're right. You're right. No reason.
And Clyde
No reason to draft
Edwards-Helaire is your
Travis Kelsey.
flex.
Who?
Clyde
Who?
Edwards-Helaire is your flex.
I mean, he all right. He a decent guy.
Hey man, it's your team. It's your team. I want to
Bunch of
go to
nobody.
this.
You know what
Listen,
I'm saying? Nobody's on that team.
hey, if you believe that you can win it, I was only asking you that question because I want to go to some
You
things. I
want
really want to
you
mix it up.
you think you got a good team or something?
I've got a great team.
I hear you.
I have the number one quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, number one wide receiver in Devontae Adams, number one kicker in Harrison Bucker, number one
Devontae
defense in
Adams is
Pittsburgh.
not the number one wide receiver. You wildin'.
Yes, he was the number one wide receiver last year.
You wildin'.
He had
We all know who the number one wide receiver is.
1,374
And that's
yards,
D Hop.
18
D
touchdowns
Hop's
for
number one.
350. He had 20 more points than D Hop last year.
Don't matter, dog. D Hop number one out here.
The number
We
one
all
pick,
know it.
again, wide receiver. So I have four of the top number one picks with
Who else? Who else?
Justin Jefferson, who had 1,500 yards last year. So I mean 1,400
Who?
yards, excuse me, not 15. And then I got Jamaar Chase, who, if he performs, I could put him in, but I'm going with Brandon
not.
Cooks and Marquise Kendall.
Brandon Cook's not gonna give you much of nothing. He's streaky.
What you mean streaky? He had 1,148 yards. He's the top receiver for Houston. What are you talking about?
He's streaky.
No, he's
gonna
not.
He's gonna give you a bunch of games with 6 and 6, and then he's gonna give you 24. And then he's gonna give you 5, and then he's gonna give
Kendall,
you
I have
30.
four players that's going to give me 100. So it doesn't matter.
No. Who you running back?
Nobody's. Mike
You don't even have
Sanders
running back? Wow.
and Carlos Edwards.
Wow.
Chase Edmonds. They're both starters. They're going to put up 10 points, and that's all I need. Don't need a bunch of – I never have great running backs. It's all about PPR. It's all about wide receivers. That's all it's about a PPR league. Now the question.
Nah, buddy. You're not gonna even do well this year. You might go 10-0 and 10 again.
You got your mind. The only weak link I had is the running backs. The only weak link I have is the running backs, and I can always trade. Look who's going to be up on a waiver wire. Y'all let Marquise Galloway just go pie y'all. I actually drafted him in the 5th round.
Nobody care about no Marquise Galloway.
Bruh, you see what he did? You know you wanted him. You knew you wanted him. Because you're the first person that texted the group text. Look what kind of group. Who the one who got Galloway? I'm like, I drafted him. He's not on the waiver wire.
You drafted him in a good position. You drafted him like in the 6th round. It's a good spot.
That's right. That's right. Because y'all didn't know.
That's where you should go.
Right.
You didn't get a steal. You got him where you're supposed to.
I did give a steal. I got a great player.
He's not worth the first 4 rounds.
Kendall, he's the WR1 for at least 5 games. What are you talking about?
That's not worth the first 4 rounds, bro. You need somebody who's gonna make it through the year for the first 4 rounds.
Bro, I got him in the 5th round. 5th or 6th round.
That's what I'm saying. You got him as an appropriate position. You didn't
Yeah.
get a deal. You drafted him at a good position where you supposed to.
But if it's the fifth round, somebody should have thought, man, he's going to be the WR1 this year.
Right.
Somebody should pick him up.
And that was you. And so you didn't get a deal. If
That's
you'd have
because I'm a
waited,
great
if you'd have
scout.
got him in
I'm a
the
great
eighth
scout.
round, then that would have been a deal.
Kendall.
But
I had
you didn't do that.
already by the time we got to the eighth round, I had all my starting picks. That's something y'all don't know how to do.
Because I think
Have
I got a pretty good deal in the eighth round. Oh, yeah. I got a crazy deal in the eighth round. I think I picked up Kyle Pitts, the tight end for Atlanta.
I don't even know who that is. What does
That's
he
the
do? He
number
don't get
4
no
draft
yards.
pick. He the number 4 draft pick of the year. He was the best tight end out of college. Like, and y'all let me get him in the eighth round.
Dude, you this is a PPR. Why are you drafting guys who are tight ends? You only draft the quality wide receiver, the
Who
top
else?
50 wide
Who
receivers.
else are Atlanta gonna throw to?
I don't know. I don't even know who Atlanta got. I don't even watch Atlanta football.
They got rid of Julio Jones. They don't have nobody else to throw to.
Hey, they suck to me. They suck.
They
But the
gonna throw the
question,
ball though.
I got
It's
a
all
couple
about
questions for
catches
you.
and yards. They gonna throw the ball.
Fantasy. Who is QB1? Who's the top quarterback in fantasy football right now?
Russell Wilson
You think so? Why?
running and throwing. He gets
I mean,
rushing
Mahomes can
touchdowns
do the
and throwing
same.
touchdowns.
Mahomes can do the same.
Not really.
You
He
don't think
don't
so?
get many rushing. He don't get many rushing touchdowns.
Hey, I'm gonna go with Mahomes because I drafted him. I think he's gonna be.
Of course you are.
I'm just saying. I think he's gonna be the guy who's gonna get 20, 30 points every game. We might have
but
similar discussions with
guess what
RB.
though?
You say who?
I said you in trouble though, because I think they're gonna try and run more this year to try and balance out the attack. They got rid of Sammy Watkins, so that's an extra wide receiver gone. So they might not be doing any more of those 4 wide receivers.
Nah, Clyde
5
Edwards
wide
Helaire,
receiver
he's not
sets.
that powerful. They ain't giving him no shot. Not like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they're gonna do a lot more running this year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's already. I don't even need anything from him. I got a guy in Devontae Adams who's going to give me 25 every night. All I have to do is get 100 points
Why would
with
you
4
think that?
players.
You think
What?
you think Aaron wants to give him all those catches? He about to give it to Randall Cobb. He gonna give it to his
No.
OG,
He's
his
going to give it to
old
the guy
buddy.
he trusts. Aaron Rodgers
Yes,
and Devontae
Randall
Adams is
Cobb.
like Drew Brees and Michael Thomas in 2018, 2019. That's who
No,
they like.
this
Yes.
is like if in last year Marcus Colston came out of retirement and played with Drew. That's what this is like. So Randall Cobb about to get all them touches. He about to get everything.
No. No.
He about to say,
Okay.
I brought my boy back. We about to go off.
You know what?
I said, get nothing, dog.
You want to talk about these things about how bad my team is? Let's go to the next topic. Number 1 running back. Is it still Christian McCaffrey for the 3rd year, or is his reign over?
Oh man, I wanted to be Elvin, but it
No.
might be. It might be.
Who? Kamara?
Yeah.
You out your mind?
Why wouldn't it?
Because he doesn't give you big yards in bunches.
Yeah,
Maybe
he does.
receiving.
Yeah,
Maybe
he does.
receiving.
You get
because-
both. You get both from this guy. Elvin gives you both. He kept the year. I think Christian McCaffrey was number 1. He had. Did he have 1,000 both ways?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did. I think Kendall. I believe we may have a discrepancy, and let's see if we can get him back. Kendall, are you still on the line? Are you still on the line? Okay, we may have a discrepancy real quick with Kendall. We're gonna try to see if we can get him back on the line in just a second. Kendall, when you're just on the line, just tap back in. Could be a muting that you pressed on your button. We want to get you back on. But if you can get back on, just try to unmute yourself so we can make sure the listeners who are listening. Okay, I think he's trying to tap back in. And we're going to see if we can get Kendall back. Sorry about that, guys. We had a little bit of technical difficulties with Kendall's phone and his service. We're going to try to get him back. We were talking a little bit about the fantasy draft and talking a little bit about. Okay, Kendall, are you back? Can you hear me? Let's see if we can put him back on. Hold on. Kendall, are you there? Can you hear me?
Uh,
Yes, we got you back. Hold on. Let me put you back on. So, Kendall, we were talking about your running back option. We were talking about Christian McCaffrey the third year. You say Alvin Kamara is your number one running back. Why? Make the statement.
well, because you're going to get running and passing.
Okay.
And considering that we don't have too many wide receivers, he'll probably be a bigger role in the wide receiver core this year. So maybe we break 1,000 yards both ways: 1,000 yard rushing, 1,000 yards passing. I think if you do that, you're gonna probably end up number one.
My guy, it's going to be a lot of people saying you might be crazy for doing this. And it's a guy that a lot of people have been really, really overlooking. And the guy that I'm going with, of course, Kendall, you got the Christian McCaffreys, and you got the Saquon Barkleys, who are just top tier talents. But the guy that I'm going with is Dalvin Cook. You know,
Really,
he's a prolific guy, similar to Minnesota Vikings, similar to Kamara, but I think he's going to have a truly explosive season. He's going to be a guy that's going to give you 15 every week, 7 points, probably 70 yards and a touchdown from receiving. And also, he's going to give you another 50, 60 yards from running. And so that's the guy that I'm going with, Delvin Cook. I think he's going to be the highest running back performer, and he's my RB1. What do you guys say about that?
I don't know about that. Um, yeah, I don't know about that one, bro.
I mean, you can go with Derrick Henry,
If I
but
would
he's
say
my
anybody,
RB1.
it'd be Derrick Henry. If I was gonna go with anybody other than
Yeah, I
the
don't think he's going
pass
to perform. What I
route,
see for the playoffs, I'm going Delvin Cook.
I would have to say Derrick Henry would have to be that guy. I mean, the guy had 2,000 yards last year. Um, that's kind of amazing. So like Alvin Kamara didn't have 2,000 yards combined catching and receiving, passing. I mean, running and catching. You know what I mean? So uh, to have that many, that's kind of amazing. So if anybody is going to be the guy who to carry a team and really be that workload, it's definitely King Henry.
Hey, he's phenomenal. I'm going with Cook. I think he's going to be the best. Now, this is the conversation because this is the hardest one for me. This is the hardest pick for me, Kendall. It is defense. What is your approach to defense? Do you go to like the traditional defense, like teams that you think always going to have good defense, like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, or do you could do like these up and comers that have new prolific players, new prolific systems? How do you pick your defense? Because that's like the hardest pick for me, and I picked Pittsburgh this year.
Oh, I think this year I went more for the pick a team that's playing somebody trash. That's what I'm gonna go with. So just change
You're
it
just
up
gonna change it up.
week to week. Yeah.
So anybody who play the Jaguars,
That was my strategy last year. I don't know if the Jaguars gonna be the trash team this year. So whoever's the trash team, whatever defense is playing that team, you pick them because they're gonna get smashed either way. So that's kind of that worked out pretty well for me last year.
okay, and
So
that's. I think that's a good one. I'm going with Pittsburgh. I went with Pittsburgh last year. We'll see what they do this year. I think they're going to be pretty good. Um, yeah, it's 9:08. So we got about 5 more minutes. The last questions that I want to ask you: if you're picking a team for the Super Bowl right now, from what you're seeing, even though it's limited, Who is the team you said this team is stacked? Go back to the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl. Which team that you've seen has the capability of going to the Super Bowl?
I mean, dude, I don't know. It's hard to say right now. You got to just kind of run it from last year.
That's why the sports
Um,
segment is for you.
is
Just throw
is
it out the hat. It's not about analysis. What do you think? Gut feeling. What team?
all right. Gut feeling. If I just got to say a team that potentially can make it, that's feeling ripe to come out and dominate, you know, then I think, I think, what I gotta see, who I gotta see, who I
Uh-oh.
gotta say.
It's a big
I
one.
think it's gonna be the Packers and the Browns in the Super Bowl. There you
Oh
go.
my God. Please get off this team.
There you
With
go.
that trash.
Packers and the Browns.
That is
Baker
horrible.
Mayfield to the Super Bowl.
That is the worst
He's
thing
showing
that you ever
out this
said in
year.
your life. So you said the
There
Packers
you go.
and the Browns. Browns doesn't have a bad team, but I'm going the one team. Now, why Packers? Hold on, I got before I go. Why Packers?
Well, I think Aaron Rodgers on the tear. They got a good team. I don't know. They're a decent team, but it won't
No
be
Tampa
them.
Bay?
They won't make it. Aaron Rodgers is gonna figure out a way to not do it for some reason.
Of course, he doesn't want to be there with them.
So, Aaron could go almost in a year with the talent he has, and he has a good running back. He got good wide receivers, so he should be able to make it. But he gonna figure out a way to lose it somehow.
Of course,
How he let Tom Brady get him, bro? That was crazy.
I think we did that. If we would have beat them, we would have won. But it's spilled milk. But the team that I'm going with is a team that's just really, stole my heart last year. AFC, which is a wonderful, wonderful team. I love what they did. It reminds me of what happened with us with the Saints. And that's Bills Mafia, Josh Allen. I think Stephon Diggs, they're going to be the team that's going to win the AFC, go to the Super Bowl, and win the Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills. They're going to be the ones that win and beat possibly Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady going to do it, but the Saints might go to the Super Bowl. Don't count them out. They can win their first 7 games. They can beat anybody.
Oh, of course. I mean, the Saints definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kendall, it has been a pleasure
So
with you.
You think it's gonna be Tom Brady again? That was you saying. You think Tom Brady going back?
It's possible.
Lord,
I mean, nobody on the team left. You got Delvin White. You still got Chris Godwin. You still got I think it's Mike Evans is still on the team.
Yeah.
You still have.
No, they got the whole same team, bro.
Yeah,
they got the whole same team. I think 21 of 22 starters came back.
Yeah.
So
when you got that, that's just a recipe for good chemistry, and possibly the only way they'll lose is how Brady plays.
I got Antonio Brown too.
What on your roster?
Oh yeah.
That's not a good pick. Not a good pick at all.
It definitely is.
No.
Do you remember who Antonio Brown was the last time Antonio Brown played?
I don't know that guy.
Oh, you don't know Antonio Brown, huh? All right.
Nope.
All right. Just one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
Yeah, he's trash.
Antonio Brown.
He's what the Spanish people call El Terrible.
In a row.
El Terrible. That's what they call him. They call
I picked that
you go to Mexico, you say Antonio Brown, they say El Terrible, El Terrible. That's what they say in Mexico when you see Antonio Brown. Say, hey man, you know who Antonio Brown is? Yeah, El Terrible, El Terrible. Because he's terrible.
Yeah, he brings terrible nightmares. That's what he does.
No, that boy is trash.
Brings terrible nightmares.
That's on the football field. I don't like him. He's not a good player. He's not a good team player. There's nothing that he showed me with Tampa Bay that made him perform. We stopped him. So
he had a half a season and still put up, I want to say, about 120 fantasy points.
Kendall, I don't want to talk about Antonio Brown on our broadcast.
Tom Brady Mike Evans not about to get no play with Tom Brady. It's gonna be all Antonio Brown. Check down city.
God, God, listen. This guy, I don't even know how he becomes a sports correspondent with some of the things that he says on this broadcast. Kendall, before we go, we talked a lot about Sha'Carri Richardson, ninth place
Of
in the
nine.
trials.
Of
What do you
nine.
say about that?
I don't know.
What you,
I don't follow track.
yeah, but you know she
So
was in ninth place though. That's the
so
last place of the
I
last place. She talked a lot. She could not cash a check that her
well I
mouth
will say
wrote.
this. I will say this. She got people watching track because
Of course.
nobody else would have known anything about this if she wasn't racing. You know, so um, be happy she bringing attention to the sport. Um, Outside of Olympics, people never watch any of these other competitions, so it's a good thing that she's out there. Now, the fact that she came in ninth place, uh, maybe she rusty. I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely rusty.
You know, uh, to come out and um, do your first race against the Olympic winners after they just came from the Olympics. They've been at the height of it. You're at a different pace, coming out of nothing, just regular training, not actual competition. It's different in a competition and in training and in practice. So
Yes, it is.
I'm sure there'll be more races. I'm sure she will win another race
We'll see. We'll see.
somewhere.
Kendall, last thoughts. It was great to have you again, my great co-host, live correspondent. As you can see right now, live his name right there, Kendall Spears, our great correspondent coming in. What are your last thoughts? Anything you want to talk about? Any comments, Saints, sports? Your last thoughts, comments before we sign off for tonight.
Black and gold to the Super Bowl, baby.
That's all we got to say.
Take it all the way.
That's what I'm going to say. We want to say that we are proud supporters of the New Orleans Saints, and we are proud supporters of everybody that stands against this horrible tragedy that happened in Afghanistan. We want to say personally from everybody at because of me. What are you laughing for, Kendall?
Why you even bringing that up? Why you even bringing that up?
We are media people. We have to say these things, and now you laugh. We are a conglomerate, a sports media conglomerate.
Oh,
Now people gonna think we're horrible. Not Kendall. I was really busy.
that didn't make no sense, bro. Make no
Afghanistan, we
sense.
are with you. Our
Oh
prayers
my
are with you. We're believing that all the people that are there can get transportation on the plane, that they can go to wherever they need to be, Qatar and Pakistan, that you can get the relief that you need. We are with Afghanistan. We stand in solidarity with those victims who are in Afghanistan and anybody who has been a victim of assault or any type of things by Taliban. We are with you. Kendall, I really wanted to give you an opportunity to reiterate a stand with solidarity with our Afghanistan citizens who have been victims. I'm going to pass it on to you. What you?
I don't, you know, I don't know enough about the situation. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you do.
abstain from participation in this here conversation. But I always say I do not condone violence. I wish everyone the best. There you go. This
Well, again, as you can see
this
right
guy.
now on our live broadcast, you can follow us on Twitter on Because Podcast. We are simultaneously streaming this now on 6 different platforms. You can go right now. There's many people that's watching on our YouTube channel. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Ustream. We're live on Vimeo. And we're live on a whole bunch of Japanese channels, Kindle, that I didn't even know. But we're live right now via this awesome technology called Restream. And we're so thankful for many of you to be watching and broadcasting. I'm thankful for my host. Again, we are with all the Me Too victims, against all the Afghanistan victims. We believe in with you, Kendall. That is so horrible because I'm trying to be serious right now and get sponsorships and show people that we are solidarity with those who have been
This is
affected
a sports
by all of these.
podcast.
What?
This is a sports podcast. People come here to get away from all that nonsense.
That's right. That's right. And that's why we stand in solidarity. Kendall is an advocate spokesperson against Afghanistan. We're going to do some volunteering, do some charity work for Afghanistan. Kendall, we're going to let you take the front on that. There's going to be a live video that's going to show Kendall sponsoring Afghanistan and being live on a commercial showing his fight for Afghanistan. Kendall, anything else you got to see?
Any other causes you want to shout out right now?
Yes, Kendall is also a big sponsor of the HIV campaign.
You know,
He's against.
I don't appreciate this, man. You out here with all this Afghan support. All Middle Eastern countries matter, okay?
That's right.
All Middle Eastern countries matter. So don't come out here with this. We support Afghanistan. No, you got to support all the Middle Eastern countries. Don't
Even
just
Dubai?
be one out. It's everybody. You know? You feel me?
I feel you. So look at this. All Middle Eastern countries matter. Saudi Arabia, I don't know, all of Egypt, whatever. We want to say anybody that's feeling like they are tortured by the system of degradation and slavery, we are with you. And most importantly, Kendall is with you. He's going to volunteer and he's going to speak in your native language and tongue, speaking against.
I'm volunteering Leonard's time to you guys. It's gonna come free of charge. You're gonna make sure you have nice, good time. You enjoy yourselves, and y'all feel great. So he's gonna take real good care of y'all. Hope everybody enjoys that. Actually, I want y'all to write us comments about how well he treated you. Okay, and so we appreciate the engagement with the community.
Well, we're signing off now. In the next couple of seconds, you're going to be seeing a live graphic of all the shows that we're going to be having. We want you to stay tuned in every Tuesday and Thursday. We're logging off with my great sports correspondent again, Kendall Spears, live here in our studio in New Orleans, Louisiana. The next thing is going to be our graphic. We'll see you on Thursday.